All right. We are back with the Final Percent podcast. We have made it all the way to Friday. So let's talk about Friday. A lot of people say, thank God it's Friday. They say, Friday. But what does that mean? A lot of these entrepreneurial people will say, you know what? I don't care about Fridays because over here, I created a life that I don't feel like I need to escape from. Well, no, I just said I was excited for Friday. You never heard me say that I was trying to escape from something. So it's really funny in today's day and age. Being an entrepreneur is so sexy and it's so cool and everyone thinks it's easy. Well, it's not easy. It's in fact incredibly hard. But the thing is the entrepreneurs of America are attacking all of the workers of America without them realizing it. And they're saying, oh, well, because you do that, you have a life that sucks. Well, that's not true. Sometimes that is the best place. Everyone thinks that it's easy to be an entrepreneur because we're watching movies like The Social Network, Facebook. We're watching movies like Steve Jobs, Apple. We're watching movies like the founder, McDonald's. We're watching Snapchat, which was a company of what, 16, 17, 20 people, whatever. And overnight, they're all billionaires. So therefore, we truly think that it's easy to make $1 billion in today's day and age. And it's such an interesting phenomenon with people working for me. And I have noticed that if I hire someone from, say, 18 to usually about 25, 27, it's like 18 to 27 right now, their work ethic is just not there because they think everything should be in these quantities that are just unbelievably unrealistic. And then right when I get people in their 30s and 40s, well, they've tried for so long and this, that, and the other. And so when they find certain things, they know what a good deal looks like. They know what good business looks like. They know what certain things look like, and they are appreciative and they're very grateful. And that's a thing that we have to remember. Being appreciated, being valued is so important. That is, I think, one of the best currencies on the planet. If someone can change your life, if someone changes your life, if someone speaks life into you, if someone is always there for you, if someone will always answer your call, I want you to thank them for that. One of the things that, and I know I said this on a previous podcast, but I think it is something to be said again. A friend of mine, his name's Eli Mull, said that when one of his grandparents passed away, that he was there on their deathbed, and the last thing that they said to him was, hey, if you have something inside of you that has that God's put on your heart, or if you don't believe in God, that you have on your heart that says, hey, I love you. Hey, you've changed my life. Hey, you've impacted my life in such a beautiful, meaningful way. That's not meant for you to hold inside of you. That's meant for you to give to someone as a gift. And so when we get to this Friday thing, I want you to look back. I want you to reflect. I want you to learn that your weekends, you should have a period of reflection. Hey, what did I do that I could do better? Who did I meet that just, I met someone that just truly changed my life. I met someone that made a difference. Who did I meet that I should probably just drop a thank you card, shoot them a text, an email, a phone call, whatever it is. Could just be mom trying to get a hold of you. Maybe use Saturday, Friday night before you go out with the girls and make that your priority. Maybe you reflect and find out who is actually changing your life, who is there day in and day out, who is consistently the person who can change your life. Sometimes that's you. Maybe you need to reflect on the fact that you are a badass. We just talked about that. Now, I'm not saying hubris. Hubris means that you think you're invincible, you can do anything, and nothing's ever going to go down. I've been down that road. Trust me, it always comes crashing down. You have to build a great team, and you have to be cautiously optimistic in everything that you do. But I want you to start reflecting and use Fridays and the weekend instead of being tricked into by the entrepreneurs of the world of saying, oh, well, just because you're excited about Friday, you are escaping from a life that is terrible. Well, that's not true. One of the things that Jim Rohn says that I absolutely love is he says, I'm working full-time on my job and I'm working part-time on my fortune. That just means that you've got to be consistent and reliable because you have bills to pay. You've got to eat food. You've got to keep your phone on. You've got to do all of these things. And then you're going to work part-time on your fortune. And you never want to quit your main gig until your time that you're spending on your fortune starts equaling the same amount of resources, money, time, energy, however you want to measure that. You don't want to start taking that giant risk and this, that, and the other because there's a better way to do things. But usually all it means is you have to sacrifice time. I mean, what happens if you want to get really good at the guitar? You got to sacrifice time, maybe some money on instruction. But if you don't have any money, you've got YouTube. But you got to sacrifice the time. If you want to get better at who you are, what you do, anything, you got to sacrifice the time. If you want to learn, if you want to get better at golf, if you want to be a better husband, trust me, sacrifice time. You got to, and it shouldn't really be a sacrifice. You should really want to do this. But you should sacrifice the time for your wife instead of saying, hey, I'm going to go out with the guys tonight. What I mean, man, if you really only have 2 days, start with the time with your family, with your wife, with your loved ones. And then you can go out and get wild and do this, that, and the other. The whole point of me trying to do a Mondays and Fridays is so that hopefully when you are Friday, thank God it's Friday status, you are spending some of the time reflecting, you're working. One of the things I tell all of my employees is I want you to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Because if you become more, you can do more. This is a very reoccurring thing that happens in my household, in my business. So be, do, have, you're going to hear it all the time. Just get used to it. But I want you to think about, okay, who do I want to become on the weekend? Do you really want to become a different person? That's not cool. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with partying. I'm just saying don't live for the party. And trust me, parties are so much cooler if you have something to actually celebrate. Celebrate an amazing life, an amazing wife, an amazing family. Celebrate, I don't know, maybe accomplishments. We just talked about accomplishments. Activity versus accomplishment. So the way that I think that it helps you really focus your life, focus your weekend, your week, your relationships, however you want to put it. I want you to start understanding this word priority. Okay, priority. What does that mean? Priority means something that you're going to put in front of something else because it has priority. So ask yourself, when you're playing a video game, when you are going out with the guys, when you're spending too much time on just Facebook, endlessly scrolling, and then your wife asks you, or your significant other asks you, hey, can we go see a movie? Can we cuddle? Can we this? And you say you don't have the time. What? It's absolutely crazy. So my wife and I have a thing that I think is great, and I think you should really start using it, is if you are going to say no to the other person, you can do this with your friends, you can do it with your employees, you can do it with literally anything and anyone in your life. I use it with myself an unbelievable amount. But if I say no to my wife, I have to say the words, no, you are not the priority right now. Now, you can imagine if she really wants to do something and I say, no, you are not the priority right now, and my priority is scrolling through Instagram or playing a video game or something like that, that is an interesting thing to put into perspective because you literally just said, you are not my priority, the video game is. You are not my priority, me being brain dead, just scrolling through social media is my priority. I mean, how many people are just throwing out these stupid excuses of, I just really need to decompress, man. I don't have time for this. I've got to decompress. Oh, I've just this. I need to decompress. Now, if you really have a life that you need to decompress from, I know that there's people out there like that, but set aside time for it and just announce it right when you're in. Hey, I need people to leave me alone for an hour, for 2 hours, for 90 minutes, for this, that, and the other. I need people to let me decompress because I've had a really tough day. Cool, announce it, that's fine. But if you've got time to play a mindless video game, trust me, you've got time for snuggling, and there's no better decompression mechanism than being held by your significant other. And I want you to use this. Hey, that is not my priority. So if you are a guitar player and you want to get better, and you know that there's something inside of you that's driving you, that's trying to convince you to play the guitar that day, and you decide not to, I want you to tell yourself, no, getting better at the guitar is not my priority. And then say, whatever you're doing is your priority. Now, if whatever you're doing is sitting on your butt, it's going to put it into perspective. And you saying that, you're going to be like, wow, I really want to get up and play guitar. Or I want to get better at golf. I want to read one audiobook a day. I want to do 50 push-ups every morning. And if you can't do 50 push-ups, maybe I want to do 5 sets of 10. However you want to get it accomplished, I don't care. But if you're unwilling to do it, I want you to say, no, my health is not my priority. Me being lazy is. Me hitting the snooze button is my priority. More sleep is my priority. When if you just took action, and the way that I always put this into perspective for people is I want you to imagine if you're going to wake up in the morning and you just got to make a quick breakfast. People usually say one of two things. They say, I'm going to make cereal or I'm going to make scrambled eggs. Let's just take the scrambled eggs phenomenon. Most people know that if they throw eggs and milk and maybe a little bit of cheese into a skillet and they just keep whisking it, it turns into scrambled eggs. If it's on a stove and there's flames, that's just kind of what happens, right? Now, we know if we take action, something happens, right? We know that if we get more books and more knowledge in our brain and we take action on it, things happen, right? But here's the problem. While we're going through this, because we're not making things the right priority, it's the equivalent of if you were going to make breakfast in the morning, of you walking around your kitchen for an hour and a half, wondering if the eggs are going to scramble. I promise you that the eggs scramble. I promise you that breakfast gets made, but you have to take the action. You have to take deliberate action, and you've got to make it a priority. Hey, it is my priority to eat food. Okay, well, you better cook it. The problem is we get into analysis paralysis, and we stop actually taking action, and we just start talking and thinking, and that's all that ever happens because, well, what if it doesn't happen? Well, then you're going to starve. Here's the other thing that'll happen is most people, when I say this, it'll be about music, or it'll be about business, or it'll be about being an entrepreneur, or taking a chance on yourself. And they respond with, well, what if no one likes it? What if people don't like the way that I sing? What if people don't like my songs? What if people don't like my business? What if people don't like my product? I ask them, go back to the scrambled eggs. Who did you make breakfast for? You made it for you. So if you have a problem that you want to solve it so that you would truly buy your product. The one time Ashley Kisner was asking me, she said, why are you such a good salesman? And I said, belief. If you just only say things that you believe wholeheartedly, you will be the greatest salesman alive. I don't care if you're gifted at Gab, if it's easy for you to talk and you're this great orator, or you just stutter constantly. If you say what you believe, you're going to be able to get it done. If you understand priority and you start verbalizing, hey, priority. Hey, this is not my priority right now. Little kid asks his dad, can we play catch outside? Imagine if the dad had to look his little boy in the eyes and said, hey, you are not my priority right now. I would guess that if a dad had to say that, more often than not, the dad actually gets out of the recliner and plays catch with the boy. Start using that on yourself. No, that is not my priority. When you know you should eat a salad instead of a cheeseburger, and you choose a cheeseburger, say, my health is not my priority. a cheeseburger, and the moment, that very small moment in life is my priority. Going back to the seeds that can sow in our life and provide a harvest. When you get seeds, you can either eat the seeds or you can plant the seeds. Some planted seeds can bear 1,000 times fruit. I mean, look at an apple tree. It literally makes apples kind of forever off of one seed. That's incredible. You can do the same thing in your life. The same thing in your life. You've just got to place the right priority, and then you have to take action. And trust me, you don't have to walk around the kitchen wondering if the eggs scramble. We all know they scramble. But you got to take the action. So trust me, the eggs scramble. Trust me, make a priority list in your life and just start using that. Right when you start saying no or yes, hey, I'm saying yes because you are my priority. Now, imagine if you started having to say, you are my priority on everything that you did, that you took a chance on. There'd be a lot of good things and bad things in there. But saying that word priority triggers something in your brain to make it a priority, and it aligns it in a very specific way. And so you start thinking of those things that you say priority differently. It's like the airport bags, all the ones that are first class, and they say in a big, like, hot orange, pink kind of thing, priority on the bag. So imagine every thought that runs into your mind and you start saying priority, your mind is categorizing them and they're putting them in a way so it can say, okay, cool, this is a priority. This is not a priority. This is what I should do. And I'm telling you, it will literally change your life. So while you're going through your weekend, since it is Friday, while you're going through your weekend, I want you because we should be releasing this one on your drive home. Before you go out tonight, I want you to ask yourself, what is my priority for this weekend? Maybe it's who is my priority. Maybe you want to get that golf game in, you want to get better. Maybe it's I want to learn guitar. I say this thing because I struggle with the guitar thing. And when I started telling myself, oh, well, getting better at guitar is not your priority. Oh, Lord, I immediately go and I have to go pick up my guitar. Because I do it to myself. Right when I say music's not my priority, man. And it's a little bit of reverse psychology. Try saying that to a little kid. Oh, yeah, or a kid said, oh, well, yeah, that's just not your priority, so you don't do it. The little kid's immediately going to go do it. So understand the priority. Have a great and safe weekend. Go to the final percent for yourself. Remember, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This has been the Final Percent Podcast. I thank you so much for sharing these ideas and concepts with me, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday.